All right, welcome back. Welcome back, Scott Godwin Studios. Hope you're having a great evening. I just want to make some comments about the health of our society as it relates to a lot of these mass acts of violence. I've been studying health and psychology and culture and spirituality, history, a lot of different topics that relate to health for the last 20 years. And I think we have some deep seated issues in our culture. And I think there are about four things that if you sitting at home watching this want to do something, these are the things you can think about. And these are basically four things that you can do to make our society, our culture healthier. These four things are: number one, people are isolated, people are lonely, okay? People live in isolation. And so we need to be kind and aware of that. And we need to make an effort to reach out to people that might be on the edge, that we work with, that we know, that we encounter, because our society has set up a system to where people have ended up that way, okay? About 25% of Americans live alone. About one third are dealing with some sort of depression. So we've got a lot of people that are isolated. That's not good. We want people to be part of a community, okay? Second thing is people are becoming separated from reality. People are becoming separated from what's real. And that is through technology mainly and through nonstop media, okay? And a lot of irresponsible rhetoric on the media. Thirdly, one thing to think about with these horrible things that happen is most of the time they're related to childhood issues. So if you have children or if you know of children in your life, or if you can be kind to a child, if you're a teacher or if you somehow encounter children, bad childhoods create bad people. And we have a crisis in this country with parenthood because we have parents that act like children. Okay, so that would be the third thing. And then the last thing is we have to remember that if we don't agree with someone, these people are still created in the image of God. Now, what I mean by that, in my background, every human life has dignity, every human life has meaning. I might disagree with you, I might not even like you, but I have to respect the fact that the same God created both of us, okay? So we have to look at those things: isolation, people being separated from reality, okay? And that involves a lot of paranoia, a lot of psychosis, a lot of autistic technological addiction, poor childhoods, and losing sight of our common humanity. Those are the four things I think that stick out that correspond well to all of these things. Our society is too fractured. It's too balkanized. It's atomized. What I mean by that is we have too many people that want to retreat into these different groups and want to attack people who are not like them, or they want to play identity politics. And I'm so sick of the identity politics pushing this, okay? I'm tired of people trying to push this blame game and this identity politics. It's fracturing our society. We need to have a common culture, common values, and hopefully it's not too late. But there are too many people that are alone. We ourselves need to make an effort to not isolate ourselves and retreat into these groups. And then also we need to make sure that people are not left alone themselves, because it is so hard to be that way. A couple of books that I recommend are a book by Charles Murray, two books by Charles Murray. Coming Apart is the name of one, And that book goes into how America has pretty much given up on middle class values. Okay, and what I mean by that is working hard, getting a job, staying out of trouble, and so on. So that book really goes into the decline of the middle class in America, and that book's called Coming Apart. Another book is called Bowling Alone, and that book is about how people used to do things, civic groups, be involved in bowling leagues and so on, a generation or two ago, and about how that type of life in America has declined. So that's driving a lot of that isolation. Another concept that I mentioned out of the four is the lack of reality. People get addicted to technology. They watch the same shows. They have nothing but constant feedback from sources that they that agree with their worldview, so to speak, and so they lose themselves in some sort of reality that's not real. Okay, so I recommend turning off technology and encouraging people to encourage others to turn off technology, as well as creating places that technology is not allowed even. I recommend going to parks. I recommend doing anything, religious services, anything where you're involved in a physical reality that does not involve technology. Okay? Because even though technology can be good, it can be very bad. So, I mean, think about Las Vegas in general. You know, it's a fun place for a lot of people, but it's kind of a fantasy land, right? It's a bunch of people who don't know each other. In many cases, going up to a machine and sitting in front of a machine and feeding money into it repetitively. And I read somewhere, I read in a book that now you don't even have to push the button, that the slot machine automatically turns for you. And this creates an autistic type of mind, okay? It causes, I've actually got the book right here in front of me. I was reviewing it earlier, The World Beyond Your Head on Becoming an Individual in an Age of Distraction. One of the things that Matthew Crawford talks about is about how we have something called a death instinct. It's kind of hard to imagine, but it's basically an instinct to where we want to just do what feels easy. Okay, we want to just basically, you know, it's the lowest common denominator of human existence, and the technological addictions that we have, those addictions to apps, those addictions to technology can actually stimulate that in some cases, can stimulate that death instinct. So we become separated from reality. And thirdly, I mentioned childhood. I was lucky I had good parents. No parents are perfect, but good parents raise good children. They instruct them in moral values. There are a lot of people in this country who say we don't even have moral values, okay? And I read about the person who committed this horrific act in Nevada, that his father was a criminal, okay? These things add up, this isolation, this technology, this childhood trauma. I don't care if the guy was in his 60s, we have to consider that. And we have a lot of children now. We're creating a lot of traumatized children because parents can't act like parents, okay? They can't act like adults. Adulthood doesn't just happen. We have to instruct children on how to do it, okay? On how to become adults. So, healthy parents create healthy children. Lastly, what about our common humanity? Basically, we have to remember that even when we disagree with people, they're created in the image of God. That means they have worth and dignity as a human being. And when we start demonizing people like Donald Trump or Barack Obama, and we start saying that, you know, that they're, worthy of being decapitated, or, joking about this sort of thing, When we start demonizing our opponents, we don't debate the issues or the ideas. We are reacting emotionally to certain things. It's the lowest common denominator. It's a very instinctual lizard brain activity. It's not good. We have to remember there's good and evil. And it's not right to demonize someone's worth as a human being because you disagree with them about something politically or anything else for that matter. So, I want this to be a positive video, something that you can use. 4 things. We have too much isolation, social isolation. Invite people out, join groups yourself, encourage people to be more social, meet people, go out and meet your neighbors. Number 2, turn off the technology. Okay, turn off the media. Number 3, take time to get to know young people and try to be a good role model, a good mentor. If you have people in your life that are parents, encourage them to be good parents. And lastly, remember that we all share a common humanity. Even though we might vehemently disagree, and trust me, I have strong opinions, I always try to look at the dignity of the person. That this person, even though I disagree with them, I'm not going to demonize them as a person. I'm going to try to look at me and say, where do I need to improve? Where do I need to get better? So those are 4 things we can do. And I hope this was a positive video, and I'll put it up on my YouTube channel. And I just hope we can eventually turn this thing around. But those are my suggestions for having a healthier society, healthier culture. And take care, good night, and I will see you soon.